Welcome everybody to the Brother Speak podcast. This is Brother Speak. If you're new to the channel, please like, comment, and subscribe. So today we're going to be talking about a few topics, if you've seen from the intro. So let's just get into it. I've been watching a lot of stuff on YouTube earlier today. Well, I guess yesterday, because now it's the first. But, one of the main things I was looking at is the Honest Truth versus the B1 network, mainly Nyla and Taz. So I was looking at the live stream that Nyla was doing on the Honest Truth, and I'm not really surprised that it happened because I'm looking at it realistically. They're both competing for the same audience, which is the black women who are fed up with black men and have issues with black men, and they want to seem like they are the saviors for black women. So it's not really a surprise that they're competing with each other. But my thing is, neither side has clean hands. Because, you have Nyla and Taz was going against the Honest Truth, saying about his past in the manosphere and how he had these negative views of black women. Now, all of a sudden, he changed his tune, which, he did. And, it's been very successful for him. But the thing of it is, they're the wrong people to be criticizing him when they've been accused of scamming black women. They have doxed a few black women. I've heard Taz cuss out a bunch of black women. Nyla's done the same, calling black women mammies just because they love black men. So, it's kind of like y'all coming at each other, but you don't have no clean hands. Now, I'm not a fan of Honest Truth. I'm not a fan of him. I think he's a coon in every sense of the word. I think he's a pander to black women, but he really don't care about them. He just want to make money off of them. But on the flip side, there's a lot of people like him. He's very intelligent. You can hear it in his talk. But you could tell that this dude is a weak dude. He sneak diss on dudes. Especially when you have conversations with him. He's slick dissing. It's the way he goes about it. It's kind of like dirty macking. Like, how he's just dissing black men, but meanwhile, he's like, oh, yeah, but I'm the one that's going to save you. Yeah, give me money. That's what he be doing. So this is crazy. Then you had Taz, and I gotta say something about Taz. This dude starts stuff and then want to play victim a lot. Now, the Honest Truth ain't the first person he started stuff with. He started stuff with Mr. Research. He started stuff with Max City Limits, Tony Maceo, BGS. He goes start shit and then play victim like everybody's attacking him. It's like, no, bro, you start mess and then get mad when the pushback comes. So, to be honest, I'm not on either side of this because I think both of them, both sides are not coming with clean hands. They both done some stuff to black women that is foul. So seeing both of them battle each other, I mean, it's, and then you have all their fans and all the women in particular are divided of who they're going to go with. So what really made it look bad for the honest truth and for Nyla and Taz to come in and really bring the heat was his interview with Space Ghost Perp or whatever that goofy guy name is, who threatened Cynthia G on YouTube and thought that was a good idea. Yeah, that was smart. And so the honest truth decided to interview him. I guess to show something, I don't know. And that was kind of like a mistake on his part because let's face it, the honest truth is not that he don't seem like that aggressive type guy. He's more of a passive aggressive type guy. I've seen him before. I've seen him on BMT's panel, and we got into it. He was passive aggressive as I don't know what, sneak dissing. Then when we don't agree with him, now he just straight up calling people coons, sellouts, and all kinds of names. Meanwhile, on that same panel, who was praising white men, it was to the point where even a white dude had to get on the panel and say, "Bro, what are you doing? White men ain't like what you're talking about." That was crazy. Well, the white man got to tell you what you thinking is wrong about white men. You know you've been fucking up. And then on the other thing with honest truth, he's not that aggressive type of dude. He's just a passive aggressive type of person. He's not upfront aggressive like a Taz is. See, the women wanted the honest truth when Space Ghost Perp, whatever the dude's name is, came on him. They wanted the honest truth to come really give him the business, really wanted him to stand up to him like a man. And I'm like, have y'all been listening to this guy for the past year? That's not how he rolls. That's not how he acts. So if you were expecting that type of energy from him, y'all was sadly disappointing and y'all were very delusional. I think Camilla McKay doing an interview confronted this man more than the honest truth did. So that disappointed a lot of the women. And so Nyla and Taz seeing this, ding, 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 opportunity to go after this guy and really get him the business. So, yeah, you know how it is. They ride the wave of controversy and pile on people. That's what they do. They done it with Umar. They done it with Tommy. Usually most times it backfired, but hey, when there's opportunity, you got to strike. So, honest truth is taking a little hit. Now these women going after him, saying he wasn't doing what the man should be doing, and it's coming back to bite him. But I don't know why these women was thinking this is not how he was. This is not how he is. So if you were expecting him to really go after Space Ghost and all that, come on now. Y'all seen how he acts. He's not that aggressive type of dude. He's passive aggressive. He's a weak dude. I don't know what else to tell y'all. Now, him interviewing him, I don't think it was a bad thing, but the problem is the audience that he has really wanted him to give him the business, but didn't. So he disappointed his audience, and so that allows Nyla and Taz to come in, and now they got the clips because these are doxers. They've doxed black women before, put their business out there. And so they brought up his past videos. It's like you can't hide stuff on YouTube. Anything you say can be found. I don't care if you delete it, somebody's going to keep it. Especially when if they have an axe to grind. They keep those clips locked and loaded. You know the usual suspects, Grandmaster Troll, Bala X, and shouts out to Bala X, one of my subscribers. He be doing the good work. But again, they keep those clips locked and loaded, and they ready to get you. And Nyland has the same way. They get those clips. If they want to get you, they gonna get you. So they were when I started looking at it, he was talking criticizing the movie Cuties and criticizing black people's insistence on sexualizing young black girls. And so, now it's like, well, see, he's sexualizing young black girls. Now I'm looking at the thing. I mean, he's making a commentary on that. He's not actually sexualizing young black girls, but he was very much critical of black women in that video. So yeah, that's not that's not a good look for his audience. Let's see, priest from Ali Male Israelite. Hey, how you doing? I think the honest truth is lame. Yeah, I mean, yeah, he's lame, but the women love him over there, so it is what it is. I just be watching. I mean, I've been peeping them for a while. I say, hey, it's going to happen. I knew either he's going to turn on his fans or they're going to turn on him. So I kind of knew this was coming because thanks. How are you? I'm doing great. I'm just up late trying to do this podcast. So that's what I'm doing right now. But thanks for asking. And you're from Britain, man. I wonder what time is it over there. I know y'all ahead of us. I'm in Texas, so I wonder what time it is for you over there. If you don't mind me asking, but I'll just wait till you give me the answer. But yeah, so it's not really surprising that it's happened. It is 9. It's 9 in the morning. Yeah, I figured it was something like that. Oh yeah, you probably just getting up then. Yeah, I'm a late nighter. I usually work at night, so this is when I'm really active. So at 9 in the morning, I'm usually asleep. So, but anyway, so this is not really surprising that it happened, and it's not really surprising that Nyla and Taz is taking advantage of it because they've been feuding with Honest Truth for a minute. From what I've gathered is, it stemmed from there was a episode that the Honest Truth was doing, and he was inviting all the black manospheres, some of the black men. I got up around 6. Yeah. Well, you better than me. I can't do morning. Shit, I can't do the morning. But anyway, back to so this whole started really. I remember Honest Truth was doing a show where he had all the black manosphere, black black men who have these complaints about black women come up on the show, and he will talk to them in a civilized manner, and then the men and the women can talk. And I think Taz wanted to get up there, but he wouldn't. He wouldn't allow him to get up there because I know how Taz is. Taz will be these blah blah bitch ass niggas and all that kind of stuff. That's what he gonna do. So trying to keep the peace. So the honest truth didn't want him on there. So that got Taz in his feelings. So they went back and forth. I guess Nyla got involved. I guess honest truth was saying, "Hey, you need to get away from this dude. He crazy." Sorry. And then you got the fans. Some of them don't like Taz anyway because his history and then Nyla's history. So they getting back and forth. So they've been going at it for a bit. And then you had this Space Ghost thing, this interview where some of these women were disappointed. So they started to take their side. Now there's this big brouhaha. Everybody's, it's either you team Taz and Nyla or you team Honest Truth. And I'm just looking at both of them like, y'all, both of y'all is lame. Both of y'all got issues. Both of y'all have done some things against black women that it's despicable. My thing is how these people still have fans, but what do I know? But I do kind of understand. Taz, women like Taz because he's aggressively going after the black manosphere. He's aggressive with it. It's like he's kind of like that dude that go in the club, bang, 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 shoot up the club to let everybody know he's there. But the thing with those type of guys is that they eventually will turn on you because they are emotional. They can't control their emotions. So, yeah, they'll go fight the guy, do all this, but you do something wrong to him, he goes off on you. I've seen him do that to a few women here. And then with Nyla, same thing. They don't like mammies. They don't like black women who actually want to speak for black men. They feel like that you're taking black men's side, then they want to call you mammies and all that. So it's just insulting black women. So it's like, y'all gonna get on Honest Truth for tricking these women and pandering these women, but y'all not know better. Y'all insult black women. Y'all allegedly scam black women. So how are y'all going to criticize him? It's like, right idea, I guess, but the wrong people doing it. And the thing is, another person that I respect and I go on their panels a lot, Max of the Ebony Star Network, he tried to compare the Honest Truth to Kevin Samuels, which that's false. Honest Truth is not Kevin Samuels. See, the Honest Truth is like the Derrick Jackson. Derrick Jackson tells these women what they want to hear. Oh, these black men are terrible. They're the worst. You right to leave them alone. You've done nothing wrong. You done everything right. It's these black men's fault. It's all them. It's not your fault. It's all them. And for good measure, yeah, go get your white man. Go get a Latin man. Because, these black men are messed up. They no good. See, I'm no good either. So go after them. I'm like, that ain't some coon, crazy, weak shit. I don't know what is. That's what the Honest Truth be doing. But see, he plays into their they're already angry feelings towards black men. So he plays into that. He softened them up, and he getting the money. I mean, shit. I mean, if you seen him progress from earlier this year to right now. I mean, the show is different. The style of the show is different. The equipment is different. I mean, so he's doing a good job of selling this. But the thing about with pandering, it can only go so far until you make a wrong move where these women don't like, and then they turn, and then your enemies is going to use it against them. Now, me, I'm just looking at here with my popcorn, my Kool-Aid, and just watching this thing go down. Two people who don't have no clean hands, who are using black women and abusing black women, fighting each other, saying he's worse than me. He worse than me. He worse than me. I'm the best one, and I'm just looking at it, none of you are the best one. And anybody who thinks that both of these are any good, you must be crazy. But again, they feed on the desire of black women. Taz is that aggressive Pookie that has no problem yelling and cussing and being ultra aggressive towards the black manosphere. Meanwhile, Honest Truth is one of the ones that he'll just talk about them, insult them, and tell them what they want to hear. Both are bad because both of these will get you in trouble. Both of these two will get you in a lot of trouble. And then you add Nyla to the mix, she gonna get you in trouble because she don't like none of y'all anyway. So it's like it's a triple team of failure here that black women entertain because of their hatred of black men. But they have a hatred of black men, but they desire black men anyway. They just desire them in certain aspects. They want the aggression, and then they want the one that will diss these black men. But in the end, neither of them are any good for anybody. So it's a crazy situation. And I'm gonna keep looking. I'm gonna keep watching. I want to see how this goes. Maybe it'll go into really messy territory because they got fans who will take it there if they want to. So I'm just gonna keep watching and be thoroughly entertained. And I don't think any black manosphere people, anybody who is hating Taz or hating the Honest Truth should get involved. Just sit back and watch this implode. That's what you're supposed to do. Just sit back and watch this implode. That's it. There's nothing else you need to be doing except sitting there and just watching this thing implode. And it will be spectacular. Okay, so the other thing I wanted to talk about, Black mother accountability. Now, there was a live stream yesterday. Well, I guess it'd be 2 days ago. On the Emily Star Network. Shouts out to Dame. Shouts out to Max. And we were talking about, I don't know how the topic got into black mothers. And, you know, a lot of these guys, well, they were talking about the Space Ghost guy again and the Honest Truth. And so they were trying to, talking about, well, these mothers are not responsible for some of these boys acting the way they do. They doing the best they can. These dudes slip out the tracks and they hate their mothers for no reason. And I'm like, No, that's not the case. If you have that much vitriol for black women, somewhere involved is that mother. Because you don't just develop a hatred for black women if your mother was a good mother. I'm sorry, that's not how that works. Well, and they're making excuses. Well, he get big and strong, and he feeling himself, and he not listening to her. Well, the thing of it is, if that boy is not listening to that mother never gained respect from that boy from the jump. She either was beating him too much, not beating him at all, not establishing she's an authority figure, probably coddling him too much. It's something she did that caused that boy to not respect the mother. I know me, I would never want to hurt my mother. But my mother instilled that respect of her for me. I mean, for her, she instilled that in me. So I may disagree with some of the things that she did in her life regarding me, but I would never say I hate my mother and disrespect her like that. I just wouldn't do it. So for a dude to hate his mother means that mother did something in the raising of this boy. And if he's hating black women like this, more likely than not, the mother's involved in that. And there's people who's, well, no, the mother has no responsibility in what happens to the boys. It's the man's fault. And I'm like, mm-mm. See, my thing is this. It's about accountability. I don't blame women for what men do, but at the same time, I don't blame men for what women do. Because they're each individuals. So when we talk about parenting, I can't blame a parent that's not there for the actions of a parent that's there. It's just like you have a crime scene. You have a murder. Somebody gets murdered. Nobody goes outside of the house. They go inside first and then go out. So you look at who this person was close to. What's their family like? You look at the close people around them first. Then once you rule them out, then you go outside. Because many times check and see if my things on. My bad. Many times, whoever kills the person is usually someone close to them, someone they know. Most times it's someone they know. It's not someone outside. So that's why police look in the inside, then go outside. So when people talk about how these boys are acting, how these children are acting, they're not going to go look for this father that's not there. They're going to look inside first. They're going to talk to the mother first because she there. It's like when they were saying, well, the mama's there. Yeah, that's why they look at her first because she is there. Well, they can't do it by themselves. We get all that. But unfortunately, we don't plan for, a lot of our people do not plan for children. They just have children because they just having sex. And they're not picking, and some of these women are not picking men to be leaders. They're picking men because they look good, and then they want them in their lives, so they have a baby from by him. I've heard time and time again women be saying, "Oh, I felt sorry for this dude." How are you gonna have a healthy relationship if you feel sorry for a man? How are you gonna respect him as a leader if you feel sorry for him? And then that translates to having children. How do you think he's gonna be a good father? You feel sorry for him. You don't trust his leadership. You feel sorry for him. That means you think you're better than him. You pity him. So how are you going to have a functional relationship? And then you talk about having children by him. How's that going to work? So a lot of times these women are not picking these guys to be leaders. They're not picking these guys to be fathers. They're just picking these guys because they're attractive and he sells them bill of goods. They don't really ask him anything. Really, all they doing is just asking him. They hoping that he be a good father. They hoping, but they're not really asking him if they're gonna be a father. They're not asking him anything. To oops, here's the baby here. Now, do dudes lie? Yeah, of course they lie. But many times when you ask them, they really wasn't trying to find out if this dude was going to be a good father or not. Because here's the language that some of them have. Oh, partner, lover, companion. Wait a second. None of that screams leader, husband. Come on. A lot of that stuff is LGBTQ talking points anyway. So, so when you look at it, it's like they're not picking these guys to be leaders. They're not picking these guys to be husbands. They're just picking the guys because they desire them. And they're there. They're not analyzing these guys like that. So it's not really a surprise that they end up single mothers. So, and my thing is, okay, he's gone, but you still have to be a good parent regardless. You still have to raise this child, especially your boys, to be a productive person. That's your job. You're here now. And again, if your boy becomes a ain't shit dude who's going online cussing and wanting to kill every black woman, I'm going to look at the father. Don't get me wrong. But I'm still going to look at you as the mother because you was there. And I know a lot of people they don't want to do that because there's mama. We love our mamas. We don't want to criticize our mothers. We don't. But again, I have to keep it honest and real. Not all these mothers were good mothers. Not all these mothers were motherly. Not all these mothers were nurturers. Not all these mothers were protecting these children. Some of these mothers let these boys get abused. Some of these mothers neglect these boys. They treat them like servants. They treat them like second husbands and boyfriends. They let all kinds of shit happen to these boys. And so when you ask me why these dudes acting that way, you got to go in. We have to go in and then go out. But again, I don't blame the mother for what the father do. I hear that too, where she probably forced him out. Mm-mm. Now you're not gonna talk to me about that. Because at the end of the day, you still supposed to be a father to your child. Damn what she thinks, you still gonna be a father to your child. That's your child. Now, if you choose not to want to do that, hey, that is your choice. But then you can't complain how this child turns out if you didn't have no hand in it. And you can't take any glory in what this child is doing if you had no hand in it. I don't like that either. Because I know my dad used to insult my mom and how I turned out. And I'm looking at him like, dude, you wasn't there. So who are you to criticize her for how she raised me? You weren't there. You didn't have no influence. So what are you talking about? If anybody should criticize her, it should be me, not you. So but like I said, you have every right to criticize a mother for her child acting the way they do. Outside of drugs, outside of drugs, you can't be, well, she's blameless. No. You still have to be a parent, regardless if that man is dead or not. What if that man died? So you just stop being a parent because he dead? You stop being a mother because uh, dude split? You don't stop being a mother because the man ain't there. You still supposed to be a mother regardless. So that's just how I feel about that. So I don't give no mothers a pass for their children being fucked up outside of drugs. Outside of drugs, there is no excuse. If your son can't read, I'm not gonna look where his daddy at. I'm gonna look at you because you are there. So if your child can't read, yeah, part of that is on the school, but part of that is on you because you're supposed to be checking behind that school. That's your job. It just be the same if you're a stay at home mom, the man's going to work. Then the protection of the children falls on you anyway. There is no excuses for your child being failed. That's why I didn't like the fact that Cynthia G said that about aborting babies, black male babies, because they feel that they would be failures. No, the boy is a failure because you didn't do what you're supposed to do. If your child becomes a fuck up, it's because you're a fuck up more likely. Again, outside of drugs, outside of addictions, drug addictions, alcohol addictions. Other than that, you can't get me to say, well, oh, the mother is blameless because the father's not there. No, 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 no. Mm-mm. You still got to raise a child regardless. And if you need help, you need to go seek the help. Now, my issue with the community is that we be seeing these mothers suffering. We see these mothers struggling with these children, and we don't do nothing about it. We like to hide in the sand, and then when something bad happens, now we want to go help the mother. Like she had to bury her son. Now we want to put in the GoFundMe's and all that stuff. Meanwhile, when she was struggling with this child, and you see that this boy is struggling in that home, nobody was trying to go in there to help her. But we supposedly supposed to care about black women and black children. But when you see these mothers struggling, we ain't trying to do nothing. I got you. But there's a sisterhood. All right. I got you. Well, don't blame the black mother. I mean, because she do the best she can. Not here. No. Well, but when they get older, no, you're not gonna get that with me because I was raised in a single parent home. I was raised with a single mother, and I didn't go around trying to beat up my mother. I didn't go around trying to abuse my mother and disrespect my mother because my mother had that respect ingrained from childhood. It was ingrained. So if you didn't have that boy have that respect, you have basketball players, big old dudes, and they still going to pay for their mother's houses, their cars, and all that. So if you're telling me they can do that, and you're telling me that you as a woman, oh, well, I did the best I could. No, you didn't do the best you could because if your boy don't respect you, and you didn't instill that respect in him when he was a child, that's on you. That's not on the father. That's on you. Well, you can't say that for every home. Every home is different. I know. That's why I say that you can't just say every mother was a good mother. Every mother was doing what they were supposed to do because every household is different. Every mother is different. So that's why I don't see them as blameless. Now, the stuff that the father's supposed to teach him, I'm not expecting her to teach him, but I am expecting her to teach him to be a productive person. That's her job. You're the parent. And if you need him to learn the aspects of being a man, then you're supposed to be putting him around men. Again, that is your job. You don't escape responsibility because the other parent decided not to be there. Ultimately, you still got to be the parent, and you are responsible for that child's success or failure. You're ultimately responsible to the time he moves out that house. Now, once he becomes an adult, hey, then it's on him or her. But while he's in that house, it's on you. It's just like I remember I was on a live stream with a woman and she was talking about the music. Well, she don't know how this music gonna be and all that. I said, and I told her, that's no excuse. You're the parent. You're supposed to protect the child. You're supposed to protect. You're supposed to protect them at that house. So they ain't listening to that stuff. Now, what they do outside the house, ain't much you can do. They're children. They're gonna get into stuff that they ain't got no business doing. But while they in that house, you supposed to make sure they ain't doing shit they ain't supposed to do. Ain't supposed to be listening to stuff they ain't supposed to listen to. So if you like listen to Cardi B and Meg Thee Stallion, but you don't want your child to be listening to it, you better not make sure they ain't listening to it while you're there. And they should know that that's not acceptable here. So if they go out and listen it somewhere else, it is what it is. But they're not going to, but you're not supposed to encourage it. Or just sit there and be like, yeah, well, I can't do nothing. They're going to listen to it anyway, so I just might as well. No, that's not how that goes. I'm sorry. You still a parent. So that's why when I hear that whole thing about Well, these boys are gonna be failures if I raise them. I'm like, okay, if you want to be defeated, that's your fault. But I suggest you just don't have children at all. Don't have children at all. If you that's how you feel, because you're not gonna be any good for the daughter either. Because what you're gonna teach her? Fear of men, of black men. But meanwhile, you're not gonna teach her to be afraid of those other races of men who has a known history of doing things to you as well, black woman. So I don't know how you're gonna help your daughter. So I don't know what you wanna tell me. I mean, so I'm like, really, you can't tell me when you're blameless. No, you're still the parent. So whatever happens while in your house is under you. It's your fault. Sorry, sorry, not sorry. Just like if you as the man is not in that home and stuff happening to him, and you're not taking the steps to protect your child and get the child, then whatever happens is your fault. See how my accountability works. I don't let nobody off the hook. Mm-mm. Because how I turned out, my father was trying to get the credit. Mm-mm. Not in my eye. You wasn't around, so you don't get the credit. How I turned out is on my mother. That's why I don't give mothers a pass. I don't give no mothers a pass. Sorry. Because I don't give mothers a pass for you hating the father of your child, because my mother almost got killed by my father, and she still had enough respect, at least the idea that we still need our father in our lives. So she didn't disrespect him. Whatever beef she had with him, kept it between her and him. And we just saw it. So if she can do it, I'm not giving these other women no excuses for that. You're supposed to raise your child. You're supposed to make sure you're doing the best that you can to make sure he don't become a failure. Not things happen. Things do happen. But those are what they are. Anomalies. It's not reality. It's not the norm. You can't say that you're the best mothers, but then when these kids turn out bad, then you want to be like, oh, well, we're blameless. No. You have to share in the success, and you should have to share in the failures. And you can't be blameless because the other parent ain't there. You still have a job to do. That's how I feel about that. And black men, if your sons and daughters are in danger in those homes, you're supposed to be doing whatever you have to do to get them out of there. If she's a terrible mother, you're supposed to be making sure that your son get out of there. Your daughter get out of there. That's what you're supposed to do. Now, if you don't give a fuck, well, you don't give a fuck. But my thing is, that's still your legacy. That's your lineage and your legacy. And I don't know about you, but if I don't want my legacy tainted, but that's just me. That's just how I think about it, you know. So the other thing I wanted to talk about was black men dependency. there's a lot of dependent talk when it comes to black men about black women. Whether it's the pimp culture, whether it's the pro black woman culture, it all stems on dependence on women. We got to use women for sex and use women for their money and all that. Then it's, oh, you gotta serve black women. You supposed to serve them. You're supposed to protect them, and even if they do it wrong, it's still your fault that she doing wrong. It's still just a dependence on women. She's your better half, and you can't live your life. Black women are your motivation, and it's like, wow, way to be dependent on this woman. Meanwhile, the women are teaching their girls to be independent of the men. But we were teaching dependence on the boys. Instead of being like, hey, get your own shit, learn what you need to do to survive, get power, and then you can go get the woman that you want. Now we did the backwards. You gotta live for your women and children. You gotta do whatever you gotta choose for the women and children. The women and children. The women and children. Or if you're not trying to get married, then you gotta say whatever you gotta get to get the ass. Get the ass. You gotta lie to. You gotta lie to. You gotta play a role. Still, all of it's dependent. Black men have been looking to black women for everything. Goes back to slavery. They were taught that the black woman was more important than them. It was beaten in their heads. The woman's more important than them. All they hear is to be a dick. So they've been dependent on this black woman since forever. They've tried to control her. They try to serve her. And they've been so dependent on the black woman that they can't even make moves without the black woman. I hear guys all the time, well, you can't get no power without the black woman. Like, well, the race of men say that to their boys. No, bro, you go get power. Then you get the woman. Because if you ain't got no power, what the fuck you gonna tell this woman? See, a lot of black men come to women with their hand out, begging, or their penis out, their head down, begging women for this, begging women for that, 50-50 bullshit, work with a brother. We need you to submit. We need you to let us lead. Let us see our kids. Let me be a man. All that screams is you're dependent and you're weak. And we've been teaching this for the long ass time. That your lives is nothing without a black woman. I'm like, but correct me if I'm wrong. Well, the black woman, if you don't have the black woman, you don't have a black race. Well, the same can be said on the other end. You don't have a black man, no seed, that woman can't have no babies. Now, there's some people trying to talk, well, the black woman was asexual before she had the first male. So If black men would gone, the black woman would be asexual again. I'm like, what? What? I'm like, are we for real right now? So really, the woman really don't need us. We need her. Oh yeah, that's a smart thing to do. That's a smart thing to say. Let's see, Patrick. Does Deterrell know about this? Know about what? You got to elaborate, Patrick. Deterrell know about what? What about the live stream or about what? What? You gonna have to explain that one. But anyway, so we taught black men to be so dependent on black women that we depend on them for everything. And we're depending on them to get jobs. We're depending on them pretty much everything. Now, there's some certain factors that contribute to that. The war on drugs, um, the crime bill, which I didn't think about it till Love Wilson on one of the panels brought that up. That a lot of these guys couldn't get no jobs because they had the 3-strike rule with the not the 3-strike rule, but the felony rule. They don't hire felons, so a lot of these black men can't get no work, especially when you're talking about corporate jobs or jobs that on the books that make good money. So they end up being dependent. They end up getting with these women, they put them, go over there for their parole. They living in their Section 8. They're living in their housing. The women are getting housing. They're getting their education, so they're getting their houses and stuff. So they're living with these women, living like a boy. So they're getting jealous. They're getting resentment, which, let's be real, most men want to get this stuff on their own. Most men don't want to live off of a woman. But it's been beaten in our head to be dependent on a woman, which goes against our natural urge to get our own stuff. So that's what caused the resentment. That's what causes anger. That's what caused all this domestic abuse. So we taught the men to be dependent. And then all of a sudden, we taught the women to be independent. So it's a clash. Instead of teaching the boys what they should have been teaching them is to be independent. You build yourself up outside of women. Now you can do that for any woman, but not a specific woman. But you're supposed to build yourself up. You're supposed to go conquer that dragon. You're supposed to go compete with other men to be the best. We didn't teach them that. We taught them, oh, you got to get all this stuff so you can get a woman. And that's it. Past the woman, there was nothing else. We didn't teach them ownership. We didn't teach them how to get a business. We didn't teach them anything. It's just the women, women, women. And you hear it in these YouTube streets, in the manosphere. Women, women, women. The B1 people. Women, women, women. The pro black women dudes who love black women. Women, women, women. They put the women above the boys. Meanwhile, the other races of men, they don't put the women above the boys. They put the men above the women. They put the boys above the girls. We do the opposite. And you wonder why we ain't succeeding. About what happened with Honest Truth because D Darrell did a panel also a while back. I don't know. I'm pretty sure he probably heard about it. I mean, it's everywhere now, so I'm pretty I'm pretty sure he knows. So if not, somebody probably told him. I mean, so it's because I know he said he used to sub to him and he used to watch him. So I'm pretty sure with this whole thing with that Space Ghost thing and with Taz and Nala, which he been having a feud with, I'm pretty sure he knows. He knows what's going on. I wouldn't be surprised he do his video on it sometime soon. But anyway, like I said, the dependency on women is just it's out of control. It's all these dudes talk about. Not about getting power, not about getting resources. It's about let's get the women in line. Let's get sex from these women. Let's get all. I'm like, well, number one, if you don't have no power, wealth, and influence, you're never going to get control of these women. Why are they going to listen to you? You ain't got no power. And we haven't had no power in a long ass time. Especially not in this country. We had no power. Yeah, you had pockets of men who had their communities here and there where they were in control. But for the collective, no. And then on top of that, when we did have towns on our own, they got destroyed. When this white man wanted to get you, they were going to get you. They took away the jobs. We talk about how black men lost a lot of these industry jobs where you didn't have to have a 4-year college degree, but you could still make a good amount of money to take care of a household. But when you took those trades out the schools, you took those jobs out the communities, you effectively took the power from black men to run their families, to even think about having a family. Because if you don't have no power, you don't have no resources, you're not thinking about trying to have a family. If you don't get your basic needs met, you ain't thinking about no family. You're not thinking about marriage. What you thinking about? You're trying to get your dick wet. You're trying to get your dick sucked. You're trying to get somebody to ride your penis. Because that's all you can think about because you ain't got no power. Because you don't have no power, all you're going to think is what your base desires. Fighting and fucking. Because you don't have no power to do anything else. So that's why all the conversation goes back to fucking. Then now they fighting. You see these dudes in the black manosphere, they fighting each other all the time. You see even with the pro-black women's men, they fighting each other. Because again, and then you have the manosphere and the pro-black women guys and all them, they fighting each other. Because the one thing they never address is that dependency of women. And it's all over the place. They want to demonize women or they want to love women. They want to put them on a pedestal. There's never been a balance. And yes, there's a lot of outside forces that disrupt the balance, but we never got that balance, especially how to treat the women. we never focus on the boys. We always focus on the girls and the women, which I understand at some point, but we forgot about the boys. So now the boys are lost. We taught the boys that the women were everything. You can't hit a woman if she hits you back. If she hits you, you're supposed to sit there and take it. She has all these emotional baggage. You're supposed to sit there and take it. She has a bunch of kids. You have to sit there and take it. You had to take, and nobody gives you nothing. So now these dudes are saying, I'm not giving no more. Well, I don't got nothing else to give. And nobody's trying to give me anything. Not even the men are trying to give me anything because they too focused on these women. They're quick to help a woman and a girl, but they won't help a guy. And I'm not talking about just getting them handled. I'm talking about getting them a job, getting him the tools so that he can be protected and want to have a family. See, power is the tools to make money, to take care of yourself, to be self-sufficient. But like Max was saying, well, we just naturally assume that the boy gonna be independent. Why would you assume that? You're still supposed to teach them skills to be independent. If you don't do that, then how he's going to be independent? He's going to be dependent. And who's he going to depend on? Women. Because women are getting the jobs, women getting the education, they getting the houses. So he's going to be dependent on her. And some of these women, because they feel sorry for the dudes, they're attracted to, they'll bring them on in. Let him lay up on the couch, give him a little 20,000, treat him like a little boy. It's a sick cycle, and it keeps going day after day. Now, some of the young men are trying to get out of it. I know the Black Manosphere was trying to change that, but they let some dudes that really shouldn't be talking talk for them, which was a problem. And then it just go back to the same thing: vagina, 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 vagina. No talk of power, no talk of getting power, influence. No, vagina. As long as I get my vagina, I'm good. Whether I'm getting married or just getting sex. As long as I'm getting my vagina, I'm good. And because they've been so dependent on women, they don't go for power. They don't wealth or influence. The women and children are unprotected. Now anything goes. Look, a perfect example. R. Kelly had his pick of the litter of little girls, women. He could do whatever he wanted to. But guess what? Because he had power, money, influence, he could do that. Those Black men in those communities couldn't do that. They ain't had none. Without no power, wealth, and influence, nobody's going to listen to you. Who's going to listen to you? Nobody. Like I said, the Black women and the Black children are the most unprotected because the Black men are the most powerless out of everybody in this country. So when you're the most powerless out of the group, anything goes. Anything can happen to your children, to your women. And then your women participate because, again, abused people become abusers. Now anything goes. And now she's like, well, I want to abort black male babies. Damn. But she could do that because you have no way to punish her. What you gonna do? What you gonna do to it? I mean, we got Space Ghost up there threatening her. But guess what? He killed her and then what? He going to prison. So who winning that? And really, he shouldn't even been allowed to say that shit. Let's be honest. Like you had that whole Glendon Cameron talking about how to get with young girls. And black men was just sitting there letting that happen. They ain't checked this dude. They ain't checked this fucker. They ain't try to shut his shit down. You know, BMT did stuff on it. You know, Commander McKay said things. I said some things on it. It's fucked up. But he felt so comfortable to do it because there's a black dudes who just allowed him to say it. Oh, well, it's legal. They had a discussion on the age of consent. Well, you know, if it's legal, so if it's legal, you mean to tell me he can come after my 16-year-old daughter if I had one? And you just cool with it? No other race of men was gonna say that out loud. Even if they were thinking it and probably were doing it. They ain't gonna say it online. They don't do stupid shit like this. But again, black men are so weak and pathetic. They have no power. Shit like this happens. That's why women are messing with your children. They're beating your children. They're hurting your children. They're letting other men kill your children. What you gonna do? Nothing. Like that just happened in Houston. This black piece of shit female let her white boyfriend stab and kill her son. Meanwhile, where the father at? Probably doing nothing. He ain't got no power, no influence, no wealth, no nothing. So his son's life was in her hands, and she decided to kill him. And that ain't the first time I heard that in Houston. There's been a bunch of them. And all those dudes that would cry, the ones that you find, where the mothers that killed these children and had these children got beat up and stuff like that, they're up there crying, pathetic, looking so powerless. Just powerless. Meanwhile, your kids are suffering. Now, if you don't give a fuck, you don't give a fuck. But it looks bad. And then on top of that, nobody wants to mentor. Nobody wants to go at least try to check on their kids. Well, I don't want to be a stepdaddy. Nobody said, at least mentor. Nah, I don't want to do all that. They ain't gonna listen. How do you know? But you want the women to win? That dude's talking about well, once she get pregnant, it's out of my hands. I'm like, well, she can't get pregnant if you don't bust in her. I look at it like this: the woman can have any baby she wants. There ain't nothing you can do to stop that. But she can't have my baby unless I decide to bust in her. She can decide when she's gonna have a baby, but she don't get to decide when she can have my baby because I decide when I'm gonna bust in her or not. But these dudes would be like, no, but I can't control no dude like that. So, if she just tell me to take the condom off, I'm just gonna take the condom off. I'm like, what? Come on, man. You can't be serious. But again, that's dependency. They depend on these women for everything. They depend on these women for access to sex. And the thing of it is, look, I don't care about tricking. If you want to trick, go trick, man. I don't let no dude tell me what to do with my money and my dick. Because if I want to go get some sex right now, I can go call somebody for sex right now, and I won't think nothing about it. But these dudes are so dependent on these women, that they'll put up with any kind of shit just to be with a woman to give him some sloppy toppy. That's crazy, man. It's very crazy. But that's what these dudes do. They do that all the time. What can you say? They're so dependent. They can't. Women say something. Oh, they're flipping out. Then, and what's even colder is like they be over there on this women channel. They know this woman don't like black men like that, but they be trying to convince her. Please, please come back to black men, please. I'm like, dude, why? Let her go. Who gives a fuck? Fuck her. No, no, we can't let our queens go. Let She ain't your queen, for one. And two, she don't like you like that. It's crazy, man. It's so fucking crazy. But I mean, we got to get out of that dependency of women. We got to. It's killing us. It's killing our reputation. It's killing our image. It's killing our reputation. It's killing the boys. It's killing the girls. It's killing the women. Because a lot of these dudes are so dependent on women, they can't live without a woman. They don't know what to do without a woman. Woman want to leave, they will. They kill her and the children. I'm like, what the blind fuck? It's insane. Their dependency. They're being in these. Let's just say she's a single mother. She got kids. They sit there and let these kids abuse them, talk to them any kind of way. She talk to them any kind of way. Sit there just for some vagina. I know. My brother did that. My brother haven't even seen his kids, but he playing stepdaddy to some other chick's kids. Make that make sense. I'd be like, don't you got your own kids? What the? I'm like, man, this shit crazy, man. That's how bad it is, man. We so dependent on women, and the sad thing, the women know it. The women know it that we're dependent on them, and they use it to their advantage. Now, again, I don't blame them for doing it because they're women, they're opportunists, but we allow that shit to happen. So we got to reap the repercussions of that. So if black men want to change it, you gotta go for power on your own without the women, because they making moves on their own without you. You're gonna have to start making moves on your own without them. That's there's no other way you're gonna fix it. And one thing you shouldn't be doing is listening to Kevin Samuels advocate for you to deal with other men. Anybody hear that crap? I listened to that. I'm like, wait, what? What? What we? Yeah, we should advocate for black men to be with black men. I'm like, oh, nah, nah, bro. You messed up, bro. Nah. I mean, you was having a good thing, but then you try to go the divester route. And the black men were like calling. Some of them sound kind of gay, but I digress. They're like, no, we ain't leaving our black women. What you talking about? And Kevin got so in the feelings, he literally said it. Besides the whole date out, other options, we need to advocate for black men to be with black men. And when I first heard the clip of that, I was like, uh-oh, this ain't good. This ain't good at all. But I wanted to be fair, so I listened, went back to that particular part when he talked to that guy, and I heard it. And people was trying to he misspoke. No, that dude didn't misspoke. He felt that in his chest. That was in his chest. And some dudes were talking about, well, he was just talking about they should have options. Hold up. Okay. Listen, I am nothing against if you want to date men. I got coworkers who were their persuasion. I don't judge him. He real cool with me. We talk about a whole bunch of stuff. But I'm not going to advocate for other men to be with other men. Especially where there is this whole agenda for black men to be the face of homosexuality. Which makes us look even weaker to not only our women, but our children. Pushing us to be in these dresses, deal with the Tigos. My word for transgender. They pushing us to be with the Tigos. Pushing us to be Tigos. I'm like, and you want to advocate for that? I'm like, and you still got men supporting Kevin Samuels? Dude, I mean, well, he ain't gay. Wait, so the clothing, Now, I'm not the one to say somebody is of that persuasion unless I see a penis in his mouth or a penis in his ass. Other than that, I'm not, unless I see it, I'm just going to say, uh, but dude, there's just too many things that this dead man was doing. Asking about this dude's penis, the clothes, the heels, the dude in the bed, the begging the LBGTQ to come protect him, and then this. You know, some of them been saying that this dude he don't like women. He he wants another dude. I can't argue against this one. But again, because black men so dependent, they're so angry with women, they follow anybody. So they follow this dude. Hey, he really telling them. Well, yeah, he could because he he's a homo. He don't feel no kind of way. But that man, that was crazy, man. That was crazy. But hell, that goes back to black men dependent, and then these women. At the end of the day, they looking for a daddy figure. They looking for the aggressive dude, a daddy figure, or some cute dude that's gonna say what they want to say. That's what they're looking for. And black men, they fit those roles because they ain't got no power. They ain't got nothing, but their penis and their balls. And so that's the only thing they can do is just get women to be with them and stuff like that. Dependent. So let's see, how long have I been on that? Dang, almost an hour and 30 minutes. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and cut this short. Um, uh, thank you, Leah, male Israelite, for dropping by. Thank you, Patrick, for dropping by. Just listening to me rant about this stuff. So, to sum it all up, the topics. Honest True versus Taz and Nyla, saw it coming because, like I said, pandering don't last forever, and you're gonna make a mistake, and so these women are gonna turn. Now they're turning on them, and Nyla and Taz trying to get some more of their viewership back because Honest Truth took a lot of their viewership and went over there, so they're trying to get their stuff back and ride the rate of this controversy, like they always do, taking advantage of shit. So it's not really a surprise. So I'll keep an eye on that. As far as black mothers being accountable for the children, the end result is yes, you're accountable. Sorry. I'm not going to look just at the father and leave you like, you're an innocent victim. No. If you want all the praise for raising these childs, you got to accept all the criticism that come with that. So if your child is fucked up, you got to take the criticism for him being fucked up. Now, if your child's a success, then you get all the praise. But you can't have one without the other. That's just the way it is. So, no pass is given to any mother. Sorry. As far as black male dependency, black men are too dependent on black women. Got to get out of that. Got to get out of that dependency of women. You got to get power, wealth, and influence. Because until you get that, there's nothing you can do for your women and children. You can't run them. You can't protect them. You can't do nothing for them. All you doing is wasting time. Time and energy should be better spent on getting power, wealth, and influence. And then you can get whatever lifestyle you want to do. Whether you want to be a family man, whether you want to chase pussy, whatever you want to do, you get the power, wealth, and resources. You can do that without impunity. So that's it. That's it for the Brother Speak podcast. Thank you for listening. I appreciate it very much. And y'all have a good morning or evening, or whenever you're listening to this. Brother Speak out.